Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is time to read a story with Gabby. Chapter 7. What's that noise? Everywhere I looked, all I saw was trees. Trees, but no people. I stood perfectly still and listened. I couldn't hear any voices. All I could hear was the loud beating of my heart. My stomach started to do flip-flops. What if they couldn't find me, and I had to spend the night out here in the dark all by myself? Maybe a bear would come out of the woods looking for food and eat me up. Now I was really scaring myself. I had to find my way out of there. And fast. I started to walk in one direction, but nothing looked familiar. So I turned around and went back the other way. I had walked down one whole row when I heard the noise. It was like a quiet sniffling. It seemed to be coming from behind a tree. I tiptoed slowly around the other side of the tree, and there was Max. He was sitting down at a base of the tree with his head in his hands. And what was that noise? Was he crying? Was the biggest bully in the whole first grade actually crying? As soon as he heard me, he jumped up and quickly wiped his face with his hand. Freddy, what are you doing here? He said. What are you doing here? I said. I, was just taking a break, said Max. Really? I said, because it sounded to me like you were crying. Crying? Me? No, said Max. Well, I'm glad I found you, I said to Max. I had never thought I'd ever say those words to him in my whole life, but right now I was happy to see anyone, even Max Sellers. Really? Said Max. Yeah, I said, because I'm lost. I was trying so hard to find that wooden apple that I didn't realize I had wandered so far away from the group. If I tell you something, do you promise not to tell anyone? Said Max. Yeah, sure, I said. I'm lost too, said Max. Are you scared? I asked. At first, Max didn't answer me, but he looked scared, and I was sure I had heard him crying. How about you, Freddy? Are you scared? A little bit, I said. Me too, said Max. I think we should stick together. We can help each other find the way out. I didn't think Max even knew how to help someone else. He was always hurting people, not helping them, but I finally did not want to be alone. Okay, I said, let's stick together and find your way out. Which way should we go? Said Max. Do Do you see any footprints? I asked. Yeah, right here, said Max, pointing to some footprints right next to the tree. Those won't help us, I said. Why not? Said Max. Because they are our footprints. How do you know? Lift up your foot. See how they match the marks on the bottom of your shoe? I said. Wow, you're like a real detective, Max said. Thanks, I said and smiled. Do you see any other footprints? Hey, look, over there, Max said, pointing to the left. Those look like the bottom of Chloe's fancy red shoes, I said. Let's follow those. I bet they will lead us out of here. We followed the footsteps for a while down one row and then another, but we still did not find the group. Max stopped and glared at me. Okay, Shark Boy, do you have any other ideas? That one didn't work. I couldn't believe he was getting angry with me. He wasn't coming up with any ideas of his own. How about you? I said. Do you have any ideas? Well, we could, Max stammered. Thanks, Max. Those are great ideas, I said. I had to think of something. I had to think of it fast. Time was running out. I sat down on my bucket like I had before and hit my forehead with my palm. Think. What are you doing, weirdo? Max said. I'm thinking. I'm trying to think of a way to get us out of here. Just then, Max kicked my bucket. And it gave me a great idea. Why didn't I think of that before? I said to myself. Think of what? Asked Max. Making noise with the buckets, I said. Pick up your bucket and start pounding on it like a drum. If we make a lot of noise, I'm sure the rest of the class will hear us. We both picked up our buckets and started pounding wildly on them with some sticks we found. It made a really loud noise. They must be able to hear this, I said. We walked a little farther, banging our buckets. And then I thought I heard a voice. Shh, I said to Max. Listen. We stopped banging for a minute, and sure enough, we heard Mrs. Wooshy's voice. Max? Freddy? Is that you? We banged our buckets again. We're over here! We yelled. We're over here! Over here! Then I heard Robbie's voice. They're over there, Mrs. Wooshy. I can see Freddy's red sweatshirt. Good thing that bright red doesn't blend in with the green trees. Mrs. Wooshie, Farmer Bob, and the whole class came running up to us. Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? They all ask.
Yes,
we said.
That must have been really scary,
said Chloe. Were you scared? Were you scared? All the kids asked. Max looked at me, and I looked at him.
No.
No,
we weren't scared at all.
We said. Oh my goodness! I was so worried. I had no idea where you boys were, said Mrs. Wooshie. I'm glad you boys are okay, said Farmer Bob, but I am very disappointed that you did not follow my rules. I have those rules to keep everyone safe. Max and I hung our heads. I think you owe Farmer Bob an apology, said Mrs. Wooshie. I'm sorry, Farmer Bob, I said, for not following your rules. Max just stood there. He didn't say anything. Max, said Mrs. Wooshie, we are waiting. Max kicked the dirt. Now, Max, said Mrs. Wooshie. I'm sorry, Max mumbled. Of course, I am going to talk to your parents. I am going to talk to your parents about this, boys, said Mrs. Wooshie. I know they will not be very happy. Not very happy. My mom is going to be really angry, I whispered to Robbie. I know I'm going to be in big trouble. It's just that I wanted to find the wooden apple so badly. Hey, said Max. Did anyone find the wooden apple? Yes, said Mrs. Wooshie. Oh, said Mrs. Wooshie. Who? He said. Jessie got a big grin on her face. Me? No way, said Max. Yes way, said Jessie. You got beat by a girl, Max Sellers. Max looked away and kicked the dirt again.
just like I told you,
said Chloe with her hands on her hips.
Cheaters never win.
Congratulations, Jessie, I said, patting her on the back. I am so happy for you. Thanks, Freddy, said Jessie. What are you going to do with the money? I don't know yet, said Jessie. $5 is a lot of money. Well, now that we have everybody back safe and sound, how about we all go back to the old barn and make some fresh apple cider, said Farmer Bob.
Cider!
We all chanted as we gathered our buckets of apples and climbed back onto the hay cart. Giddy up, Sugar, said Farmer Bob. Take us to the old barn. Great. Well, that was a pretty long chapter, wasn't it? And now I'm on chapter 8, and I think this might be the last chapter. Well, I don't know for sure, but we'll find out. Well, everyone, I hope you all enjoyed this chapter. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.